Step right into this video. Hi! I'm actually going to film a video in my pajamas. I don't think I've ever fully been in my pajamas on YouTube. This feels like highly intimate. Like a side of me that no one has ever seen except if you've seen me at night in my pajamas. Let me formalize this a bit. I'm gonna put on a denim jacket to make it a bit more presentable, and you can just ignore the silk pajama bottoms, right? This is like a Zoom call. Strictly just waist up is to be acknowledged. Anything otherwise, I simply do not perceive. This jacket is especially special because it is from an unreleased failed video that I recorded some time back, which the footage I just recently deleted yesterday, but it was of me making...
Oh my god, it's not funny.
My 1,000 subscribers special jacket with bleach and markers, and as you can see it went perfectly well and as intended, and should have made a beautiful video that I should have totally released. Anyway, with all that aside, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Imani and this is the place on the internet where I do whatever the hell I feel like doing that particular week. This week we will be talking about something very interesting, something called Twitter. I don't know if you've heard of it, super obscure and stuff, but yeah, it's something that's been blowing up recently. It's very niche still, but I feel like I should talk about it. It has like this blue bird logo. Some people call it Larry, I call it the devil. In this video today, we will be talking about how Twitter killed critical thinking. Critical thinking is gone. It is nowhere to be found. Connection disconnected. Number cannot be reached. Please try again at another time. It's simply gone. We will be discussing how Twitter killed critical thinking. Like I said, big statement. I'll go into explain to it. Typically I do these videos whilst painting my face, but honestly speaking, it's 3 a.m. as usual. Is there any other time that I film? I don't feel like painting my face. I don't want to wash it. I'm not going to do that to myself. But before we can get into it, we have to define what critical thinking or critical thought is. I will read my cue card because I do not know it offhand. The objective analysis and evaluation of an issue to form judgment. Something our generation truly lacks, but I guess that is the point of this video. The internet as a whole and social media as a whole has given us a level of connection that no other human generation has ever had before. We are more connected than ever and more in tune with different opinions and just aware of different things that most people, even like 50 years ago, would never have had access to. If you ever have anything you want to ask or any thought or weird thing you think about, you can simply just Google it and answer your queries, which I mean, my Google history has that. Like every single intrusive thought or just like random thing that I'm thinking about, I Google it. It's honestly a bit of a problem because it will bug me until, this is a tangent, it will bug me until I Google it. Like I will just be sitting there and I will be like, do sharks make noise? Which is genuinely an issue that this bothered me for so long, because you know the whales do the whale songs, dolphins do their little thing. I can't do it, it's too loud, I'm not gonna make that much noise, it's late at night. And like sharks, I've seen videos of sharks biting things and I'm like, I feel like they should roar like a hum, but there's nothing, it's silent, and that bothered me. So I wanted to find out what sound a shark makes, and I fell through a Googling rabbit hole for like too long. I don't know how long, too long, but the conclusion is that sharks don't make any noise, and that greatly bothers me. On a fundamental level, that bothers me in my core, in my soul, in my cells, in all my atoms. Even my electrons are bothered. Anyway, if you have any thought nowadays, you can Google it, is what I'm trying to get to. Which begs the point of, if we are so connected to all this information and have access to all of this knowledge, why would I come up here and say that people don't think critically or people don't use their minds anymore nowadays because of social media, cough cough, also Twitter, which comes to my problem on that big blue app, Twitter itself. Nowadays, if we're so connected to information, I just don't understand why people can't think. Nobody wants to think anymore, and it's getting weird. Nobody seems to want to form their own opinion anymore, and I would like to greatly blame Twitter, but also TikTok, and like I said, social media as a whole. But a lot of people nowadays will find it easier to go online and simply adopt the opinion of someone else and carry it as their own. Never really think about the implications of that opinion, or what it really means, or where it came from. People just see a tweet and they read it and they like it and they internalize that information and move on. That greatly bothers me. Honestly, it bothers me a bit more than the fact that sharks don't make any noise. Why don't sharks make noise? Why, like, are you telling me if I'm being attacked by a shark, I'm not even gonna get the satisfaction of hearing a roar? I just get to hear my own screams and myself thrashing in the water. I've really focused on this tangent, but it's something that bothers me deeply. The main issue of why people don't think critically anymore is the fact that we feel like we don't need to. And for the most part, that's kind of true, because the environment bred by social media doesn't really challenge you mentally or in how you think or how you perceive things. And this brings me to the issue of echo chambers. Oh my gosh, echo chambers. Basically, an echo chamber, I don't have the definition here, but I'm gonna insert it right here. Based off what I understand, an echo chamber is simply you getting on the internet and only interacting or engaging in spaces where you share the same opinion as everyone in those spaces. And this creates an environment where everyone you interact with agrees with what you have to say or what you think. And you never really interact with anyone who thinks otherwise or who thinks differently or maybe has a different point of view. We're all just left to exist comfortably in our little social media like bubbles on our feed and not ever have to acknowledge that there's an outside world and people don't always have to agree with what you have to say. Back in the day, am I speaking like I'm an old person? Back in the day, it was like, not even back in the day, but like 10 years ago, I was 9. What the fuck am I talking about? Like 10 years ago, bitch, you're 9. But anyway, I'm just gonna use like the example. 10 years ago, it would be so hard in real life to find people who agree exactly on what you have to say, and you all have the same opinions on things. You all have the same interests in things. Like, maybe like in your school or in your area, you'd find the one person and you all would be best friends, and that's if you're lucky. And that's like if you're someone who dabbles in a bit more alternative ideologies as compared to the more conventional ones. But I'm just saying, it was super hard to find people who you completely agree with. But nowadays with social media, it's simply a search away. You just need to search like furry communities and there you go. You found your people. I'm not saying that I'm a furry. I have nothing against furries. They're not my people though. I'm not a furry. But if you are, you do you know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, if I was a furry in real life, it would be harder to find other furries. But if I'm online, I just need to type on furries on like the search thing, and I'd find that content, and I'd find those people, and I'd find that community. So I guess echo chambers, in a sense, not echo chambers, but the communities on the internet, in a sense, like finding communities that you agree with, there's a positive to that. But echo chambers shows the negative aspect to that, where because you're only interacting with the content that you agree with, you never get to see content that you might disagree with. This is not a matter of destroying safe spaces, because I know having a feed that most of the things that you engage with and you enjoy creates a safe space for some people that they would not have in real life otherwise. But most of the time it does create an echo chamber where you are not able to realize that people think differently, and that's okay, and that's like a thing, and it's not absolutely bonkers that other people don't agree with you. I can come up and say that even for me, since my feed, for the most part, I have tried to diversify the content I consume and the opinions that I consume to make sure that I'm not stuck in an echo chamber. But in the beginning, of my social media usage, I was stuck in a majority of my social media was echo chambers. It was mostly people who shared the same strong ideologies that I shared, and then I'd come up in real life and share the same things, and everyone's like, okay, whoa, slow down. And I'd be like, what is wrong with you? How do you not think about this way? And I honestly forgot how to interact with people in real life, because I got so used to that social media landscape and just how everyone agreed with what I had to say and how I agreed with what everyone had to say, and to be confronted in real life with the fact of the matter is that you're gonna meet people who don't agree with you and that's just something you're gonna have to deal with. That was very jarring to have to switch between those different worlds. This issue isn't entirely created by the user or the individual themselves, but just algorithms and how social media is created. All apps, right? The algorithm feeds you what you like, and most of the time what you like is what you agree with. So you engage with the content that you like, and the content that you like is the content that you agree with, so the algorithm just keeps feeding you more of the stuff that you like and you agree with. Thus an echo chamber is created, and you never really get to see the outside. I feel like this creates a certain laziness in people, because if all that we're consuming is things that we think are right and things that we agree with and things that we're comfortable with, then we're never really challenged to think about it too much. If I'm scrolling through social media and I see a lot of people posting about how it's crazy that sharks don't make noise, because that's fucking crazy, and I'm gonna talk about it for the rest of the video, but how it's crazy that sharks don't make noise, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's crazy, and not really try and delve in deeper and look at hey, why don't sharks make noise? I don't know if that's a good example really, but you see something and you agree with it and you just move on. You don't try and sit down and think about the different nuances that the said thing that you agree with could have, the different aspects of that issue, or why that issue is a thing, what different people might think about that issue, because to some people it'll be like, yeah, duh, obviously sharks don't make noise, everyone knows that. And I'm like, I didn't know that. And have a discourse based on that issue. But since you're so used to just seeing things and agreeing with it, you just see it and move on. So it's that laziness that's bred in, where honestly learning not to think about things too much. And that's concerning. It's not even about the death of critical thought. At this point, it's the death of thought in itself. We just see things and we're like, yeah, move on. That's it. That's the end of that interaction. It's so concerning and so upsetting and so worrying. But as many people have said before me, bitches lack nuance. Everyone lacks nuance nowadays. No one wants to think about things. We've done a whole 180 and we forgot that the whole grey spectrum exists. Nowadays everything is either black and white. There is no anything in between. You are either with us or you are against us, and anything you are the enemy or you're with us. Otherwise we don't want to hear it, and that's just doesn't make any sense because people don't work like that. You're gonna find an ideology that you agree with, but you're not gonna agree with the whole thing. And you probably shouldn't. You shouldn't just agree with everything all the time, entirely, blindly, and just go with it for the sake of going with it. That's so weird. And speaking more on the issue of nuance, because it does tie into the whole lack of critical thinking, is that everyone is, not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone because, you know, we're talking about nuance, so it can't be everyone, but a lot of people find it easier to just immediately peg someone as the enemy and peg someone as your ally just based on certain pointers, like a certain guideline, right? And if someone doesn't fully adhere to that guideline, they are against you, which makes no sense to me because someone doesn't have to wholly agree with you. You don't have to wholly agree with something to support something. You can be able to see the pros and cons of certain things, and if you're not able to find anything wrong in some of your ideologies or some of the things that you support or agree with, that is giving call to behavior. Because if you're not able to find one single thing wrong, that is already a very big red flag, and that is an indication that something is very wrong in how you are thinking. And if there's something that you're against and you're not able to find anything right about it or anything that makes sense about it, that is also very wrong, because how can there be not one thing? Because people would not support it if there was not one perk of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not able to put yourselves in different perspectives, this doesn't mean agree with everything, or this doesn't mean agree with things that don't sit right with you. But if you're not able to see things from other people's perspective, this doesn't mean agree with them. But if you're not able to see things from other people's perspective, you're living life like you're the only one living it. And that's so weird, because babes, as much as TikTok wants to tell you you're not the main character, honestly, we're all kind of NPCs up in this bitch. Hate to break it to you, I know it's hard, but yeah, I guess the nuance does tie into it, because if you're not able to look into the nuances of things, you're not able to properly analyze them and form a judgment based on that, and that's the critical thinking. I guess the real reason, not the real reason, but a major reason why critical thinking seems to be dying is because a lot of us just ignore the nuances that there are with certain issues, and this whole black and white mentality that is coming up on social media and coming up with Gen Z and the younger generation. It's giving boomer behavior. I don't know why we're acting like boomers so early into our coming of age. We're too young to be boomers. Can you not? Please, I don't want to become a boomer just yet. I have a few years of youth left in me, and curiosity and naivety, something. I don't want to just simply become grumpy and staunch and stuck in my ways and refuse to acknowledge that there's a world outside of my worldview. That's too boomer for me, man. I'm too young for that shit. I'm sorry. If you all want to become boomers, be my guest. If you as an individual want to be able to think more critically on the space that you occupy on social media and how you interact with people in Twitter. I started this video talking about Twitter, and a lot of it is mostly about Twitter because this is where I see a majority of the problem, but I know it exists greatly on TikTok as well. You see like TikToks of someone breaking down complex theories such as feminism in like 60 seconds and that's it, and people just like and scroll on, not thinking about it for any other second. A big part of it is mostly just fighting the algorithm, which is hard work and it sucks and it's not easy but it's what you gotta do if you want to have the algorithm not only feed you shit that you agree with, you also have to interact with stuff that you don't agree with. You probably like tweets that you most probably don't like. Like if you want to see more of something, you have to like it on social media. And this doesn't mean like as in enjoy, but like as in the act. Y'all aren't boomers, you understand what I'm trying to say. But you just have to interact with that content. Maybe comment something down below or share it with someone, you know, to be able to see more of that actual content. Because if you don't interact with that content, you won't see it on your feed anymore. And there's something to be said about protecting your peace and not engaging with things that are mentally damaging to you. And I'm not saying go seek out information that you know would be detrimental to your peace or your mental health or like genuinely upsetting to you. If there are issues where you actually feel passionate about, I feel like you should be willing and able to engage in the discourse and engage in content that you most likely won't agree with, but it forces you and provokes you to think further about it and think about the nuances. But moral of the story is fix your Twitter feed. Fix it. These thoughts came to my mind when I was scrolling around OT Twitter. If you don't know what that is, it's opinion Twitter. In itself can let you know what I have, like me saying it. I have the same relationship with OT Twitter that I do with hustle Twitter. In general, I guess in general, I just have beef with Twitter. Honestly speaking, I don't like that app. I don't like it, but I'm always on it. My relationship with Twitter sucks because I follow some really funny people and I look forward to seeing what they have to say about things and their tweets. But then I get on Twitter and I see a really dumb, bigoted opinion, like shade room type of just nonsense. And I immediately just want to, like, my whole day is just ruined. Like, I want to go back to bed. I want to switch off the lights, close the curtains and just disappear, because what has this world come to? This video hasn't really been as structured as I would like to, but it's been more of a stream of consciousness type of thing, because I feel like I can't really get up here and dictate how people should think critically about things, but more just give my opinions on what I think. And you tell me what you think based on what I think. And that's how thinking works. We can all do it. So do it more, please. Thank you. It feels so weird to do one of these opinion videos and not paint my face. But I got hoop earrings for the first time in my life. The 19 years I've been on this planet, I've never had hoops. And I got them. And I'm not gonna waste them. So I'm gonna wear them. I have a mirror here so I can finally find my ear hole, because I have such a big issue doing that. Ow, why can't I ever do this? Oh my god, like, why are earrings so difficult? I typically don't wear earrings because I have super sensitive ears. What the fuck? Okay, maybe I should do it from the back. Ah, it's in my hair now. This is not going the way that it needs to be going. I think I'm going to go to the bathroom and do this properly. Okay, I am big girl. I figured it out. I figured it out. Only took me, I'm not even gonna expose myself, but too damn long. Anyway, I feel like I should always just like add like some kind of cherry on top to these kinds of videos as a reward for hearing me ramble for so long. So, you know, my pride and joy, my lip gloss. But with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's been a bit more of a rant or like a stream of consciousness of just what I think about things. But I made it because I felt like I wanted to, or I had to. I felt like I had to because this has been bothering me for a very long time. And I just need, at least if one person on the internet comes across this and changes their behaviors and at least interacts with content with a more open mind, then my job has been done. And I can rest easy knowing that I have done the Lord's work. It's all that I strive to do. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to like this video. Comment down below what you think. Tell me. Use those critical thinking muscles to let me know what you think of this video. Did it make sense? Has it been total bullshit? I don't know. Let me know. It's a free, I was gonna say it's a free country, but honestly that just depends where you are. But it's free to comment on YouTube, so you can do that and let me know what you think. Make sure to share this video if you have someone in your life who you feel just the way that they move on the internet is weird and they need to stop sending you fake news articles, just spamming you with absolute nonsense, and you see weird stuff coming up like this and this, like this on their feed, and how they're moving on the internet makes you uncomfortable, send this to them. Send this to them to let them know, babes, change your behaviors. And subscribe to see my lovely face every week. I should really change that last statement because it isn't every week at this point, but it works. It just, the way I say it flows. So subscribe to see my lovely face every week. Those are all the YouTube things. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more of my lovely face, babes, I have a whole chat and crafts playlist, 30 minutes long, over 30 minutes long, as long as you want it to be, of me actually painting my face, by the way, because that's something that I do when I'm not too lazy to. So you can go have a look at that. I think it's up here. Go crazy, go stupid. Anyway, with that, bye. I'll see you next time.
It's 5:50 something and I feel so empty inside.